Okay, so this is the first page of the activity. It just says what standards are being covered. And if you scroll down, you can just go and click on the teacher's notes. And this just says like the grade focus, the subject that we're covering, and just some extra notes for help. This is just a little intro page. It's going to talk about the pre-test that they're about to take. It's important that they know that it's not going to be graded. It's just to see what knowledge that they already have. So if you go over here and click on this, I'm going to pull up the pre-test. And so you'll just read the kids the question, and they can just click on the answer and tell them if they're right or wrong. Here's just another page that's going to explain about the matching activity they're about to do. So you can just read this to the class, and then go to the activity itself. And so there's just tiles, and you click on one, and it'll have a word, and you'll find another one. Oh, that one there, just they matched. So they just have to match two up that are right, the right word with the right definition, then it'll take them away. So this will help them learn about the terms. Here's just another instruction page explaining the next activity. So you can explain this to the kids, what they're going to be expected to do, and just that the objective is to gain an understanding of the different weights associated with, well, in this case, sized animals. So for the activity, you just drag in order how much they think that the animals weigh, like the least to the most. So after you drag all those and put them in order, you click check, and it'll say which ones are in the right place and which ones are in the wrong. Here's the next instruction page for the next activity. This next activity is really similar to the last one in what they're doing. It's just going to be a little bit different. Rather than the weights, the children will have to organize the animals by their heights from smallest to largest. So just explain that to them, and then you can take them to the activity page. Okay, this isn't loading, but it'll pull up different animals, and so just like the last activity, the kids will have to move them in order from smallest to tallest, and then click check, and just like the last activity, it'll either have a red X that it's in the wrong place or the green check mark that it's in the right place. Okay, this is for the next activity. Again, just explain this to the class. It'll just tell them what they're going to have to do for the activity, and using just clicking and dragging the different tools for measuring to the right category for what they measure. So this is the activity then, and there's different pictures at the bottom, like obviously this weight here, the kilo is associated with weight, so you drag that over there, or the measuring tape, you can drag that to height and length, and then when the kids do all that, they'll check it, and it'll tell them what's right or wrong for that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our second standard. This one was a little bit longer, so over here you can scroll to read the whole thing, and what the children need to learn is in here. So I'll explain that, and the teacher's notes are here as well. This subject is now going to be over language arts, and the specific topic is reading comprehension. Of course, we're still dealing with kindergartners. And here's some more lesson notes. It's just important to keep in mind that the kids' knowledge previous to this might vary just depending on what they've learned at home, what their parents have taught them. So that's important to keep in mind. Okay, and here's the next instruction page for the first activity for this standard. So you just read this to the class and explain that they have an option of clicking the clue to help them unscramble the word, but basically just let the kids know that this is kind of like to start off the lesson, and that they'll just be getting an idea of the words that are important that we'll be using for this lesson. So this is the activity then here, and at the top you click start, and obviously this is just a scrambled word. If the kids don't guess it right away, they get a clue. It's the storyline of the book, then kids might get the idea, and you just drag the letters into the right place, and so then they know that the word is plot. Okay, again, just another instruction page. Explain this to the students. The next activity is focusing on the difference between reality and fantasy. So they'll be given two categories that they need to drag the images into that they correspond with. So you'll go to the activity to show them this. There's fantasy on the left, reality on the right. So you'll look and see, like, obviously Dracula here, the vampire, would be a reality character, whereas a fireman is other way around. Fireman is the reality character, and the vampire would be the fantasy character. So yeah, the class can all work on this together. Say like, oh, ghost, we know it's fantasy, but whereas a guard, crosswalk guard here would be a reality. So after they're done with all that, you go up here and click check, and it'll just check. Obviously these are all wrong because they didn't even get moved. These were put in the right spot up here, so they have the green arrow. Check. Okay, here's the next instruction page for the next activity. You'll just explain to the students that for this activity they're giving tiles, again similar to the activity for the first standard. And so one tile will have the keyword, the other will have the corresponding definition. So it's their job to play this sort of matching game, memory game, to find the right definitions for the right words. So you'll go over to the activity, and again, they can click and see the different definitions and then words that go with them then. Okay, so this instruction page here, it's important before this next activity, you'll actually have to take a break and read to the students the story of Little Red Riding Hood, and then talk with them about the main events and the storyline, then the order that these events take place. So this will just kind of be a discussion that takes place in class, and then they can go to the next activity then that will actually show them in order the main events, and then they can click on them. They can see if they were right or wrong, if they realize that this was the first main event that happened, if event 5 here, if they expected that. So just to like actually see the storyline laid out for them, and the main event summarized then. This is the instruction page for the last activity. It kind of wraps up everything that the students have already learned from all these previous activities in a sort of post-test quiz. They won't be graded, but it'll just give the teacher some information about how much the students have picked up on and learned from the activities they've done. So you'll go to the activity page, and there'll be 10 different questions, and then again the students just click on the right answer down here, and so all these questions will cover things like plot, setting, important events, themes, if it's a fantasy or reality, and really just summarize everything that they've already learned.